Pardon me if I go down memory lane a little. No, I wasn't here for the dedication of the old high school, but seriously, when I first drove into town, and that wasn't much after it was dedicated, it was in the early 50s, around 1952. When I drove into town, I thought it was a health facility, and but then later got to know the school very well because of my involvement in town, got to know the folks who ran it, got to know the teachers, and 3 of my youngsters went to Wilmington High School, and 3 of them got a great education. And it sounds like I'm boasting, but one is a school teacher, and she got her love of teaching in the school, and she teaches in Connecticut. She teaches in a town called Trumbull. My youngest is an attorney, and my son graduated from Wilmington High School, went on to the Naval Academy, graduated with honors, was cited by President Reagan, and then became a weapons officer on a nuclear sub, and then at the end of his term, he stayed there for 4 more years and came out as a lieutenant commander and very successful today. So the school has a lot to offer. Always did, always will. The same things are going on in this building today. If you want an education, a good education, you can get it here. You now have the facility, though. You now have the facility to match the quality of the education that's offered here. And we have to thank a lot of the people who were mentioned earlier who did the work, the yeoman's work. But I can remember when Tom Finneran, who was Speaker of the House, called the caucus and said, the treasurer has come up with a new idea on how to fund schools. At that time, we were really scraping and digging to fund the school construction. And there was a dedication of the sales tax, you might know that too, they put together a program, and it was the treasurer's office who came up with the idea. It was the legislature who put it through. And while I'm saying that, let me add that you've got people like Jack McCarthy, who heads up the organization that goes through the selection process, and you've got an outstanding treasurer in Deb Goldberg. So a lot of good things are in the future, a lot of good things here. And I'll say it again, it's a terrific school system. And Joanne Benton, you know, I don't like singling out people, but everyone, it was almost unanimous this morning. She really pushed for this. And I know there were a lot of people involved, really pushed for it, made sure it became a reality, put the sell through, and just as the treasurer said, selling overrides is not an easy task. And selling an override to the extent, what is it, $80-odd million, I think, is really quite an accomplishment. But I love being here this morning. I love positive events, and this is a positive event. Dedicating this school where youngsters can come, get a quality education, not that they didn't in the old building, but do it in these surroundings. One thing, when my son went to the Naval Academy, I said, well, how does it feel competing? And I mean it. He graduated there with honors, too. All of my kids did well. Geez, I sound like a bragging father, and I'll wind this up very shortly. But when he went down there, he said, the only thing we're lacking down here when I compete with some of the other students, he said, is the lab equipment, things of that nature, he said. They have the quality. Most of the youngsters who are attending the academy, I still call them youngsters, attending the academy, had better equipment in the schools they were in. Can't say that anymore. You can't say that anymore. You had to stop saying that a long time ago, too. So I'd like to present a citation, and I'll offer it from my colleague, Kenny Gordon, and myself. And this is one thing that you don't have to pay for. And it says the Commonwealth, and could I have our principal up here? And our superintendent? And it's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations. Listen to this one. Wilmington High School. How do you dedicate a citation to a high school? In recognition of the grand opening of the Wilmington High School, the completion of this wonderful facility will ensure the continued quality education of Wilmington High School students throughout the years, and will house the best educators and administrators in the Commonwealth. And I might add, the best students. Students coming through here do very well, very competitive. We wish all who enter these halls the best in their academic pursuits and life. The entire membership extends its very best wishes, expresses a hope for future good fortune, continued success, and it's given the 24th day of February 2015 at the State House by Robert DeLeo, Speaker of the House, offered by James DeSully, Ken Gordon, State Representative. So I'd like to present that to you. My congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much, too.